Thank you to every single person who has reached out over the last few days to check in on my family and make sure if we're okay. I think in times like this, when you see certain people reaching out and certain people staying quiet, it really means a lot. And I just wanted to, for everyone that was worried about us, I wanted to come in and provide an update and the full story because if you follow us on TikTok and YouTube, you saw that there was quite a bit that we were dealing with this week. And I apologize if I sound a little bit kind of confused in this video because I still really am processing everything that has taken place over this last few days. But I guess let me start from the very beginning, which is that maybe about a year and a half, 2 years ago, my husband and I introduced two couples to each other. So one of Nash's friends to his other friends and his wife, and we introduced all of us and we became like a group of six basically. And everything was really great and close for a little bit until the other two girls who we'd introduced had gotten closer and closer, started cutting me out more and more. And then I started to hear them talk about me. And then other people were also telling me that they were talking about me. And then I overheard it myself one day. And so, as all of these things were happening, and then, as I mentioned, there was like a group of moms, and they got closer and closer, started cutting me out more and more. It's all the same people that I've had issues with. I really haven't had issues with a lot of people. It's just this particular group that's been an issue for a while now. Anyway, I distanced myself from them months ago, just distanced myself entirely, and no words have been exchanged whatsoever in this time. So on Thursday, I actually had just like a rough day at work where that whole week I had scheduled about 30 or 40 interviews and only two showed up. And so I went on social media to vent that, like, hey, I had all these interviews scheduled, but people don't even have like the courtesy to say, hey, we can't make it, or we don't want the job anymore, things like that. And it's not just a problem that's in my industry, we're seeing it across various industries as well as different pay scales. So I don't put my pay on the ad. When they come in, I have a variety of positions at different pay scales, and I try to assess which job the individual would be good at, what skill set they bring in. And we have a variety of benefits, and we create a package customized for each and every employee. So that's why I don't put it on the ad. Anyhow, I go on social media to vent that, hey, just people aren't showing up for interviews anymore. And my husband's best friend then comments on there, well, maybe you should stop paying your employees shit wages. So, okay, you're entitled to feel that way, but the fact of the matter is you were my husband's closest friend, and you still are, and you're like leaving that message on my publicly on social media bashing my business. And that for me flipped a switch, because you don't come at me, you don't come at my family, you don't come at my business. That's crossing a line. If you as an individual have an issue with my wages, which by the way, he knows nothing about my business, he knows nothing about how much I pay people, he's never stepped foot inside my business, we've never even talked about my business. So if you, as someone I personally know, if you have an issue, come talk to me in person or message me or call me. Don't go on social media and start bashing me, because you are someone that we know in real life. And my husband has gone out of his way for this guy hundreds of times. Like anytime that man needed anything, my husband was there for him. And he will still admit that. But he did not, when my husband called him and said, hey, why are you bashing Sonia's business? He had zero remorse. He was just like, yeah, it's just how I feel. It's what it is. It's my view on the debate or whatever. And we were like, yo, you could have like talked to us privately about it. But then he was like, it is what it is. I said what I said. And I was like, all right. So then I'm going to say what I need to say. And so I made a social media video then saying, hey, I expect like strangers to leave mean comments, but I don't expect that from friends. I don't expect for people that my husband is super close with to come and like start to publicly attack us. And we just did not think that this was something that was going to take place. And we don't want to have anything to do with this guy ever again. So he gets pretty pissed off that we make this video, and several words are exchanged between me and my husband and him and his wife. They're saying one thing to my husband, they're saying something completely different to me. Things got really, really ugly as far as like a verbal battle. And a lot of words were exchanged, and more or less it got to the point where, hey, we're just no more communication whatsoever with this couple at all. And what ends up happening after that is as we're having our argument, I am starting to get messages from like 15 to maybe like 20 usernames that are all anonymous. They all have 0 followers, 0 following, all fake profiles. And I'm getting a series of harassments and threats. And then some people we were able to identify. Like some people actually had a photo, and so we were able to figure out who they were. And so this whole little group, they pinned all of their family on us, they pinned themselves, they made fake profiles, and they're just harassing us. Some messages were like, hey, don't get too comfortable because we're going to leak certain information. Some other people were saying, hey, we're going to shoot you in both kneecaps. And then another friend, again, my husband had introduced 2 friends and their spouses together. The other friend gave us a call saying, hey, I just want to let you know that I might burn your house down. You know, like, we don't, like, it didn't make any sense. We know this guy likes to build fires and make fires, right? We know that. But this threat to like burn our house down, and then when my husband called him out on it, he was like, oh, no, 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 no. I was kidding. But he was very aggressive when he first said it. So he tried to backtrack because he realized the seriousness of his statement. So at this point, I'm getting death threats, I'm getting arson threats, I'm getting harassment. And then what ends up happening is that this group of people, I don't know exactly which one of them it was, but they go and they list my phone number and email on thousands of like websites and forums and bulletin boards, all the way from moving companies to car companies to like just everywhere they could imagine. I'm getting calls left and right. My email is blown up with spam emails. Like salespeople are calling me and said, hey, I saw your number on a message board. So anyway, they put my private information everywhere. So at this point, I was like, I'm done. I need to get a police report filed because this shit is crazy. So at this point, we are working with like an attorney as well as filed a police report. I just want to make sure we're creating a paper trail for all the things that have happened over the last few days. And I do want to address one thing, which is that a lot of people were like, you should have kept this private. Like, you really shouldn't have talked about it, shouldn't have tagged them. Part of me was, so I was holding people accountable for their actions. I never start a fight first. I never like bully someone first, ever. But if someone will come at me and attack my business, my family, and my home, I will stand up for myself, and I will do so in a way that is extremely, extremely strong. I am not a weak woman. I am not to be messed with, and I am not to be I am not meant to be walked over. These guys have caused a lot of damage, just a lot of damage. And some of the things I can't even disclose yet on this video because we're still working with like the appropriate parties to put a case together. But some of it I can't even talk about. But this group of people has been really, really just a horrible mixture. We should have never introduced them to each other. It created like a really, really bad experience for my husband and I just feel the worst for my husband because these were people that he was like, that were like best men at his wedding, and like he was the best man for, and he was really close to. And a lot of true colors have been shown over the last few days. And I think we're safe. I think we're safe for now. You know, we have taken a lot of safety precautions. We have not taken any of the threats lightly that were delivered to us. We're taking everything very, very seriously. And I just want to leave with this. Society will try to make you just like stay really quiet when you're being bullied or harassed. I don't believe in that. I think we should stand up to our bullies. We should stand up to people loudly so that they know that it's not okay and that they won't do it again. And also, I wanted to make sure, God forbid something did happen to my family or my home, that people knew who was responsible for it. So we're okay. Thank you again for checking in. We're just going to spend the next few days, like, you know, surrounded by good people, good friends and family members, people we feel safe around, just to kind of heal from the experience. And I think going forward, we're just going to be very, very, very close with who we call friends and who we introduce to each other, because we never want to go through anything like this ever again.